Information security is primarily a discipline to manage the behavior of A. Technology. B. People. C. Process. D. Organizations. B. People. Careers in information security are booming because of which of the following factors? A. Threats of cyber terrorism. B. Government regulations. C. Growth of the Internet. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Which of the following best represents the three objectives of information security? A. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. B. Resilience, privacy, safety. C. Confidentiality, secrecy and privacy. D. Safety, access control, and secrecy. A. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. A program for information security should include which of the following elements? A. Security policies and procedures. B. Intentional attacks only. C. Unintentional attacks only. D. None of the above. B. Intentional attacks only. The growing demand for Infosec specialists is occurring predominantly in which of the following types of organizations? A. Government. B. Corporations. C. Non-for-profit foundations. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Which of the college curriculum is more appropriate for a career in information security? A. Business administration. B. Computer information sciences. C. Both A and B. D. None of the above. C. Both A and B. B is incorporates many different pursuits and disciplines. The formal study of information security has accelerated primary for what reason? A. Common breaches of computer systems. B. The formation of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. C. Object-oriented programming. D. Increasingly interconnected global networks. D. Increasingly interconnect global networks. Which of the following would make an individual seeking career in information security more marketable? A. CISSP certification. B. GIAC certification. C. Evaluating virus protection software on a home computer. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. A career in information security has a between job growth outlook than other areas within IT. B. A sound information security policy is a balance between the cost of protecting information and the value of the information being protected. Which of the following roles helps development teams meet security requirements? A. Policymakers. B. Compliance officers. C. Security consultants. D. Security architects. C. Security consultants. Which of the following topics are part of an information security practice? A. Laws and ethical practices. B. Access controls. C. Security architectures. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Who is responsible for ensuring that systems are auditable and protected from excessive privileges? A. Compliance officer. B. Access coordinators. C. Security administrators. D. Policymakers. C. Security administrators. Which of the following roles is responsible for ensuring that third-party suppliers and outsourced functions remain in security compliance? A. Compliance officers. B. Vendor managers. C. Security architects. D. Access coordinators. B. Vendor managers. Which of the following represents the three goals of information security? A. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. B. Prevention, detection, and response. C. People controls, process controls, and technology controls. D. Network security, PC security, and mainframe security. A. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Which of the following terms best describes the assurance that data has not been changed unintentionally due to an accident or malice? A. Availability. B. Confidentiality. C. Integrity. D. Audibility. C. Integrity. Related to information security, confidentiality is the opposite of which of the following? A. Closure. B. Disclosure. C. Disaster. D. Disposal. B. Disclosure. The CIA triad is often represented by which of the following? A. Triangle. B. Diagonal. C. Ellipse. D. Circle. A. Triangle. defense in depth is needed to ensure that which three mandatory activities are present in a security system: A. Prevention, response, and prosecution; B. Response, collection of evidence and prosecution; C. Prevention, detection and response; D. Prevention, response, and management. C. Prevention, detection and response. Which of the following statements is true? A. The weakest link in any security system is the technology element. B. The weakest link in any security system is the process element. C. The weakest link in any security system is the human element. D. Both B and C. C. The weakest link in any security system is the human element. Which of the following best represents the two types of IT security requirements? A. Functional and logical. B. Logical and physical. C. Functional and assurance. D. Functional and physical. C. Functional and assurance. Security functional requirements describe which of the following? A. What a security system should do by design. B. What controls a security system must implement. C. Quality assurance description and testing approach. D. How to implement the system. A. What a security system should do by design. A. Security assurance requirements describe how to test the system. Which of the following terms best describe the probability that a threat to an information system will materialize? A. Threat. B. Vulnerability. C. Hole. D. Risk. C. Risk. Which of the following terms best describes the absence of weakness in a system that may possibly be exploited? A. Vulnerability. B. Threat. C. Risk. D. Exposure. A. Vulnerability. A. Controls are implemented to eliminate risk and eliminate the potential loss. Which of the following terms best describes a cookbook on how to take advantage of a vulnerability? A. Risk. B. Exploit. C. Threat. D. Program. B. Exploit. Which of the following represents the three types of security controls? A. People, functions, and technology. B. People, process, and technology. C. Technology, roles and separation of duties. D. Separation of duties, processes, and people. B. People, process, and technology. Which of the following statements is true? A. Process controls for IT security include assignment of roles for least privilege. B. Process controls for IT security include separation of duties. C. Process for IT security include documents, procedures. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. A. The Information Security Common Body of Knowledge is a compilation and distillation of all security information collected internationally of relevance to information security professionals. How many domains are contained within the CBK? A. 5 domains. B. 10 domains. C. 7 domains. D. 3 domains. B. 10 domains. The Information Security Governance and Risk Management domain includes which of the following? A. Identification of security products. B. Documented policies, standards, procedures, and guidelines. C. Management of risk to corporate assets. D. B and C only. D. B and C only. C. Concepts and principles for secure designs of computing resources. The access control domain includes which of the following? A. A collection of mechanisms to create secure architectures for asset protection. B. Instructions on how to install perimeter door security. C. A methodology for applications development. D. A methodology for secure data center operations. A collection of mechanisms to create secure architectures for asset protection. A. An outline for the software development environment to address security concerns. The operations security domain includes which of the following? A. Mechanisms for secure access to a data center. B. Identification of controls over hardware, media, and personnel. C. Help desk support for security incidents. D. Consulting on IT projects. B. Identification of controls over hardware, media, and personnel. The physical security domain includes which of the following? A. Code of conduct for employees. B. Perimeter security controls and protection mechanisms. C. Data center controls and specifications for physically secure operations. D, B, and C. D, B, and C. A. Principles, means, and methods to disguise information to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and authenticity. D. All of the above. A. Plans for recovering business operations in the event of loss of access by personnel. C. Methods to investigate computer crime incidents. People more interested in certifying themselves as security experts in a business context should consider preparing for which of the following certifications? A. GIAC, B. CISA, C. ISAP, D. SSCP. B. CISA. People more interested in certifying themselves as security technical practitioners should consider preparing for which of the following certifications? A. CISM and GIAC, B. GIAC and CISA, CISSP and CISM, D. SSCP and CISA. B. GIAC and SEC. The growth in the security profession is driven by which of the following? A. New technology. B. Growth of the Internet. C. Demands by industry and government for scarce resources. D. Overseas hackers. C. Demands by industry and government for scarce resources. D. A description of specific technologies used in the field of information security regulations. A. Adoption of a corporate information security policy statement. B. It should be designed with a short to mid-term focus. C. Advisory policies provide recommendations. Which of the following terms can best be defined as high-level statements, beliefs, goals, and objectives? A. Standards. B. Policies. C. Guidelines. D. Procedures. B. Policies. A deviation or exception from a security standard requires which of the following? A. Risk acceptance. B. Risk assignment. C. Risk reduction. D. Risk containment. D. Risk containment. B. The equipment can be used to browse information passing on a network. Which of the following terms best describes step-by-step instructions used to satisfy control requirements? A. Policy. B. Standard. C. Guideline. D. Procedure. D. Procedure. Which of the following embodies all the detailed actions that personnel are required to follow? A. Standards. B. Guidelines. C. Procedures. D. Baselines. C. Procedures. Which of the following would be defined as an absence or weakness of a safeguard that could be exploited? A. Threat. B. A vulnerability. C. A risk. D. An exposure. B. A vulnerability. Within IT security, which of the following combinations best defines risk? A threat coupled with a breach. B. A threat coupled with a vulnerability. C. A vulnerability coupled with an attack. D. A breach coupled with an attacker. B. A threat coupled with a vulnerability. B. IT security measures should be tailored to meet organizational security goals. Which of the following should not be addressed by employee termination practices? A. Removal of the employee from active payroll files. B. Return of access badges. C. Employee bonding to protect against losses due to theft. D. Deletion of assigned logon ID and passwords to prohibit system access. C. Employee bonding to protect against losses due to theft. B. Risk management is the process of assessing the risks. C. Controls mitigate risk and reduce the potential for loss. A qualitative risk analysis prioritizes the risks and identifies areas for immediate improvement in addressing the vulnerabilities. Which of the following terms best describes an event that could cause harm to the information systems? A risk, B a threat, C a vulnerability, D a weakness. B a threat. One purpose of a security awareness program is to modify which of the following: A. Employees' attitudes and behaviors, B. Management's approach, C. Attitudes of employees toward sensitive data, D. Corporate attitudes about safeguarding data. A. Employees' attitudes and behaviors. Which of the following should be given technical security training? A. Operators, B. Security practitioners and information systems auditors, C. IT support personnel and system administrators, D. Senior managers, functional managers, and business unit managers. C. IT support personnel and system administrators. Which of the following terms best defines the sum of protection mechanisms inside the computer, including hardware, firmware, and software? A. Trusted system, B. Security kernel, C. Trusted computing base, D. Security perimeter. C. Trusted computing base. D. They provide users with a direct access to peripherals. A. Division A, Division B, Division C, Division D. The Orange Book describes 4 hierarchical levels to categorize security systems. Which of the following levels require mandatory protection? A. Divisions A and B, B Divisions B and C, C Divisions A, B and C, D Divisions B and D. A. Divisions A and B. Which Orange Book rating represents the highest security level? A. B1, BB2, CF6, DC2. BB2. Which Orange Book security rating introduces security labels? A. C2, BB1, CB2, DB3. BB1. The Orange Book is founded upon which security policy model? A. BIBA model, B. Bell-LaPadula model, C. Clark-Wilson model, D. Common criteria. B. Bell-LaPadula model. The Information Technology Security Evaluation Criteria was written to address which of the following that the Orange Book did not address? A. Integrity and confidentiality, B. Confidentiality and availability, C. Integrity and availability, D. None of the above. C. Integrity and availability. What does CC stand for? A. Encrypted communication, B. Common criteria for information security evaluation, C. Certificate creation, D. Circular certificate rollover. B. Common criteria for information security evaluation. Which of the following terms best describes a computer that uses more than one CPU in parallel to execute instructions? A. Multiprocessing, B. Multitasking, C. Multithreading, D. Parallel running. A. Multiprocessing. Which of the following storage types is best described as a condition in which RAM and secondary storage are used together? A. Primary storage, B. Secondary storage, C. Virtual storage, D. Real storage. C. Virtual storage. Which of the following terms best describes the primary concern of the BIBA security model? A. Confidentiality, B. Reliability, C. Availability, D. Integrity. D. Integrity. Which of the following terms is not a method to protect subjects, objects, and the data within the objects? A. Layering, B. Data mining, C. Abstraction, D. Data hiding. B. Data mining. Which of the following terms best describes the primary concern of the Bell-LaPadula security model? A. Accountability, B. Integrity, C. Confidentiality, D. Availability. C. Confidentiality. A covert channel is a communication channel that allows transfer of information in a manner that violates the system's security policy. B. Both plans describe preventative, not reactive, security procedures. B. Approximately 40% of businesses experiencing a disaster of some sort go out of business. Place the following steps of the BCP in the correct sequence. Create the BIA. Obtain sign-off of the tested BCP. Identify the scope of the BCP. Write the BCP. AA, C, D, BBC, B, A, DCC, A, D, BDD, B, C, A, CC, A, D, B. A. The BCP is important because it minimizes disruption in business continuity. B. The purpose of the BIA is to define a strategy that minimizes the effect of disturbances and to allow for the resumption of business processes. C. Performing a dry run of emergency fire and medical evacuation procedures. Which of the following events is considered a man-made disaster? A. Earthquake. B. Tornado. C. Flooding caused by a broken water main. D. Labor walkout. D. Labor walkout. Which of the following is the number one priority of disaster response? A. Hardware protection. B. Software protection. C. Transaction processing. D. Personnel safety. D. Personnel safety. Which of the following is not a benefit of cold sites? A. No resource contention with other organizations. B. Quick recovery. C. Geographical location that is not affected by the same disaster. D. Low cost. B. Quick recovery. Which of the following computer recovery sites is only partially equipped? A. Non-mobile hot site. B. Mobile hot site. C. Warm site. D. Cold site. C. Warm site. An organization short on funding but long on its ability to assume risk would most likely use which of the following recovery sites? A. Alternate site. B. Cold site. C. Global site. D. Tepid site. B. Cold site. B. Hot sites can be made ready for operation within a short period of time. A. Multiple centers are more difficult to administer than other types of recovery sites. B. A mobile unit site is a fully equipped recovery site on wheels. D. The primary goal of the DRP is to reassure. Which of the following is considered the most extensive type of disaster recovery testing? A. Checklists. B. Full interruption. C. Simulation. D. Parallel testing. C. Simulation. D. All of the above. According to a 2013 Verizon breach investigations report, what percentage of breaches were driven by financial motives? A. 75%. B. 30%. C. 10%. D. 90%. A. 75%. The CISSP categorizes computer attacks by type. Which of the following is not one of the categories identified by the CISSP? A. Terrorist attack. B. Thrill attack. C. Subterfuge attack. D. Business attack. C. Subterfuge attack. Which type of individual is most likely to perform a grudge attack? A. An employee who feels that his employer has mistreated him. B. A political exile. C. A member of Anonymous. D. All of the above. A. An employee who feels that his employer has mistreated him. Computer crime is generally made possible by which of the following? A. The perpetrators obtaining advanced training and special knowledge. B. The victim's carelessness. C. Collusion with others in information processing. D. System design flaws. D. System design flaws. The computer criminal who calls a help desk trying to obtain another user's password is most likely a blank. A. Dumpster diver. B. Black hat hacker. C. Social engineer. D. Spammer. C. Social engineer. Which of the following computer crimes involves overtaxing a computer's resources until it is no longer functional? A. IP addresses spoofing. B. Denial of service. C. Rogue code. D. Information warfare. B. Denial of service. We inherited which of our legal systems from England? A. Administrative law. B. Patent law. C. Common law. D. Byways. C. Common law. D. All of the above. Which of the following statements best describes natural justice? A. Natural justice is primitive and thus natural. B. Natural justice is enforced by judge and jury. C. Natural justice is considered self-evident and thus requires no statutes. D. Natural justice is unsuited for arbitration. C. Natural justice is considered self-evident and thus requires no statutes. B. Software was the product of scientific truth or mathematical expressions. Which of the following statements is true about a trade secret? A. It offers legal protection just as a trademark does. B. It is a patent in the works. C. It is widely known but rarely discussed. D. All of the above. B. It is a patent in the works. C. Websites must have 100% availability in case users want to change their personal information. D. Both B and C are correct. Which of the following definitions best describes computer forensics? A. Using computers to investigate crime. B. Investigating crimes committed using computers. C. Probing the operating system for signs of malfeasance. D. Predicting behaviors of cybercriminals. B. Investigating crimes committed using computers. D. All of the above. Which of the following statements is true of ethical conduct? A. Ethical conduct is expected of all specialists. B. Ethical conduct helps define a high moral code of professional behavior. C. Ethical conduct speaks to the credibility of the individual. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Which of the following is not one of the provisions of the 2 Code of Ethics? A. Act honorably, responsibly, and legally. B. Provide thorough and competent service to your customers and peers. C. Judge not, lest you be judged. D. Strive to protect society and its components. C. Judge not, lest you be